Hey everyone, it's Mike from Mike Wilson Art. I hope everyone's having a great day today. As usual, thank you guys so very much for taking the time out of your day to watch me talk a little bit more about some of the art cards that I've been working on. I cannot thank you guys enough. Today we are going to be looking at a really special card for a couple of reasons, but today's card is number 29 from series number 3, and today's card is a really fun card because it actually is a card of one of my childhood heroes. Growing up, my brother and I were big baseball fans. We were big card collectors. My brother was famously the Red Sox fan in the family. His favorite player was Roger Clemens, and I was the Yankee fan in the family, and my favorite player was Don Mattingly. So really thrilled when this customer reached out and wanted to do a Don Mattingly card. But the Don Mattingly card that they wanted to do was not a straightforward Don Mattingly card, and this one ended up taking on a really cool story that I can't wait to tell you about. But why don't we just take a look at what we came up with, our 1962 Don Mattingly. All right, guys, so here is our 1962 Don Mattingly card. There was a lot of fun story that went into this card, and a good portion of it is on the back. So why don't we just dive right in and hear a little bit more about what went into this really unique card. All right, guys. So here is our 1962 Don Mattingly card. Really cool card. But why did we decide to do this as 1962? Well, part of the reason kind of lies within this image here. This image is, some of you guys are already, know exactly where this came from, but this is from Don's 1987 Topps card. This was the image. I think most of you guys know that one is famous for the wood grain, just like this 1962 has the wood grain. The 1987 Topps also had a wood grain kind of design, and this is the image that was on that 1987 card. But on the back of that 1987 card, Topps actually incorrectly kind of lists Don Mattingly's birthday as 1962, which is incorrect. Don's birthday was actually in 1961, and that Topps card is one of the only places where you'll see his name, or his birthday listed as 1962. So this client kind of picked up on that story and reached out and said, why don't we do a Don Mattingly card, but why don't we do it as the 1962, which is what we did right here. I love that idea, not only because of the really cool story, but I have not done this 1962 design before. This is actually my first card, replicating that 1962 design. And what makes this really interesting is that it's a nod to the 1987 design, which is also a wood grain card. So it's kind of interesting that, Don appeared on that wood grain card as 1987, but he is incorrectly listed as being born in 1962, which also has the wood grain. So if you kept track of all of that, awesome, but if not, no big deal. It's an odd story, and if you want to look it up, definitely type in Don Mattingly birthday 1962, and you'll find some really interesting articles and really interesting stories about people trying to track down what Don's actual birthday is. So very cool story and a very cool way to weave these two things together. So that is our card front. Flip it over here, and we'll see on the card back, our customer actually asked if we could do a little bit of fun and add a little blurb about Don's birthday on the back here, and kind of they supplied me this little bit of text, which I put down at the bottom here, and I decided to add a little birthday cupcake, to kind of call out this little bit of info down here. And the one thing that I did different with this little bit of info was I tried to draw it in italic text where it's leaning over a bit, and just to kind of separate it from the statistics and all the other text on here. And I think it worked out rather well. I kind of like the way this stands out in a completely different way. So this is the fun bit of info that kind of ties, you know, the front and the back together, and really helps complete telling the story about this card. So really, really fun, really interesting card back to get to work on. And then back to our card front. Just a fun card. I love drawing Don. It's always a challenge drawing that tiny mustache, and I think I nailed it on this card. I'm really happy with his tiny mustache here. What I have been doing kind of differently in some of my newer cards is I've been adding this little white border, regardless if it appeared on the original card or not. I think it helps the players stand out a little bit, and I just visually like the look of it. So, you know, let me know. Do you like it? Do you want me to do it? Do you, I don't know. I like it. So I did it for him on this card, and I think it came out great. So that is a little bit about this Don Mattingly card. Thank you so much to the client that came up with this really, really unique idea. All right, guys, so that is a little bit of the story behind our 1962 Don Mattingly card. I love cards like this. I love when you guys want to mash up things, but I really love it when you guys have already kind of figured out a story that kind of weaves everything together. So this card was such a pleasure to work on, because not only was it one of my childhood heroes, but I just really enjoyed the story that the client for this one had come up with, and you know, the way they wanted to kind of represent it. So just a really fun card and really imaginative. I love, you know, you guys come up with such incredibly cool ideas. This is just one of many, but just really fun and really cool client. So thank you so much. All right, guys, so here's the point where I tell you there's no card we can't make. This card is a great example because this card exists nowhere except for right here, and I love that. So if you guys have a really cool idea, you know, to make a card that kind of revolves around your favorite player, or kind of an interesting story about your favorite player, you only really need a scrap of it, because we can kind of take that and we can go in all sorts of directions. So don't think you have to have it all figured out. But, you know, if you have a cool story or a cool player that you want to work on, just reach out. You can reach me here on Instagram, send me a direct message, or you can head over to my website, mikeolsonart.com, and you can send me a message there. But either way, let's get the conversation going, and let's get a cool card made for you. All right, guys, that's it. I'll talk to you again soon. Have a great day. Bye.